And we're live. Welcome. This is the last episode for July of Not Mainstream, 7/28/2017. A lot has happened, so this is why there's a special start time at 7 o'clock. And seeing how it's a special start time, I got a special prop with me.
Oh, I'm jealous.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's just say Lucille is a little hungry tonight. Especially what happened with the whole Obamacare repeal and replace. But we'll get into that.
She's hungry.
She is hungry. She is hungry. Settle down now, Lucille. Settle down.
Put a leash on that.
Exactly. I showed it to Henry, man. He marked out completely. I got it at
Did you get that at GameStop?
FYE at our mall for $40.
Yeah, we have. That's awesome. I saw it at GameStop. I'm gonna get one.
I'm about to check my GameStop. We got one. We got a GameStop. Check
yeah, they should have it. That's so cool. I'm super jealous.
And this is a preview of my Halloween costume.
James gonna play Eeny, Miny, Mo.
Eeny, might. Okay.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. There you go.
What story are we gonna go for?
All right. Yeah. Let's see here. Let's spin the bat around and see.
Okay,
So this is Evan.
officially followed on Twitter. So
I got the notification. It's about time. Thank you.
All right. So this is been a hectic week, a hell of a week, especially if you've been tuning in to my hashtag Shane Weeks these past 3 days. I didn't do it yesterday. I was so tired. I didn't feel like doing one. But after this, I'll probably jump on my Facebook Live and do one. Let's start with the very first story. It just happened a few hours ago. Reince Priebus has been terminated.
Wait, I saw a report where they said that he resigned yesterday. He resigned, or was he terminated?
I've been hearing he's been fired. He's been terminated. That's what I've been hearing.
He's out.
Yeah, Reince Priebus is out. According to all my people that I follow, Cernovich and Jack Posobiec, InfoWars, and all the alternative media, he was one of the leakers, one of the big leakers.
see,
So it comes no surprise to why he's out. He's been replaced with former Department of Homeland Security Secretary John Kelly. I think that's a great replacement for Reince Priebus.
I never trusted Reince Priebus as far as I could throw him.
Yep, me either.
I didn't trust him at all. I mean, I didn't really understood why he was there in the first place. I was listening to
I think
Scott.
he was there to appease the establishment, to be honest. There's no other reason I can think of.
Yeah, that's a huge possibility too.
He just looks Weasley.
Yeah, I know.
He looks like a leaker. He has that leaker face.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, which is interesting because usually if there was like a major shakeup in the White House, it would have been leaked out by now. And this was not leaked out by the mainstream media, but alternative media sources, especially Roger Stone. He was on InfoWars a few days ago, and he was talking about Reince being out and one of the replacements being John Kelly. So, I mean, that goes to show how alternative media is on the nose of real news instead of CNN and their fake news.
Oh, yeah.
But I think this is a great replacement. I mean, Scaramucci, I think he has been tremendous. Last night, there was a few choice words he had to say about Reince Priebus. And that was leaked out, and he said a few choice words about Steve Bannon. Who cares? I mean, I've heard worse. Okay.
Well, Yeah, I have two. It just kind of the person he, called, I guess from what I can tell, it was a
A New York
drunk.
Times reporter.
Yeah, but that New York Times reporter is also a CNN contributor. So I mean, he would have had to have known they were going to say something. I just don't know why he would have done that or to that person. And then his wife filed for divorce today.
Yeah, I saw that as well, which is wow. This amazing thing. That's Scaramucci's.
Oh, wow.
Scaramucci's wife filed for divorce.
It's all like, it's so ironic the way that everything's happening. It's like a domino effect.
Yeah, I mean, it's really interesting. You last night you hear the leaked tape of Scaramucci, and now today Reince Priebus is fired. So you don't think maybe Scaramucci was trying to, be a plant and see if he would have leaked to the New York Times or something like that?
It's possible. I mean, it could have been a test. I mean, who knows? It is interesting. I think
This White House has been one entertaining show I have ever witnessed in my entire lifetime. I mean,
yes, definitely.
I mean, it's just like, I mean, can we get some TV cameras and Trump can have his own reality show again? I mean, can we? That would be just awesome. I mean, everything's happening. I mean, 6 months into the Trump administration, and people's been leaving and firing and resigning left and right. It's like, who's next? I mean, who's next? Apparently, McMaster might be on the chopping block.
Oh, how come?
They thinking that he might be a leaker as well.
Really?
Yeah.
What is up with all these leakers? I don't understand.
They're establishment type people, deep state type people, trying to underestimate the president.
That's terrible. I mean, that's like a disgrace to the country. I mean, it goes against everything that they're supposed to be there for.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I completely agree.
Awful.
Their asses are gotta go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got my baby Lucille. I mean, President Trump, if you need some backup.
You should be the Secret Service.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, that would be a pretty, dangerous job. But could you imagine how exciting that job would be to be a Secret Service person? That's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, and all this stuff
if you could carry Lucille around and be like a big old badass.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be awesome. But so John Kelly's in for replacing Reince Priebus. So who do you think might be replacing John Kelly? I'm hoping maybe a Rudy Giuliani or someone of that figure for Homeland Security. Dave Clark, Sheriff Clark.
Oh,
I thought, but wasn't he offered a position and he declined?
Yeah, he was offered a position and he declined it. That was a few months ago, but I can't remember what position it was.
I can't either. Now, does that mean he just didn't want that particular position, or was he just didn't want to be involved with the White House at all?
I'm not really sure. I mean, anything can happen, but I like to see Chef Clark come in.
Yeah, he's cool. I like him. He's also, a no-nonsense type person, and those are the type of people we need right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've got so much going on, and we've got people leaking everything, and we need people that's actually supportive of the president and is not a leaker.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
The next person that needs to go is Paul Rhino and Mitch McConnell and Lindsey Graham and John McCain, but we'll get to all that after we wrap this up about Reince Priebus. Any last comments on Reince?
Now, what do you think he's going to do now? Does he? I mean, when you're dismissed or fired, whatever you want to call it, resigned, whatever he did, you're career's over. So does he just go into like permanent retirement?
I hope he goes into the political graveyard with all the other GOP establishment guys. I mean, if anything
like, how do you recover from that? Like, what would you do?
Well, I'm not really quite sure, to be honest with you. But if anything leaks out, I mean, it might be, him. He'd probably get caught red-handed. If there's something that comes out within the next couple of days about President Trump and his administration, look at Reince Priebus, because, I mean, him and Sean Spicer might have a score to settle now, because they were in there to appease the establishment.
Yeah, I tell you what, I'm liking Sarah Huckabee Sanders a lot more. She's great.
Oh yeah, Sarah Sanders is great. She's tremendous. Yeah. Have they found out a replacement for press secretary yet?
I haven't heard.
I haven't either. I haven't really looked though.
But I'm really enjoying Scaramucci. He's been doing a great job. Yes. I mean, he's only been there for a week now.
Oh, yeah. He's been kicking ass, taking names.
I mean, he got rid of one of Reince's guys, Mr. Michael Short, I think. Michael and Martin Short. He got one of Reince's guys. Sean Spicer's out of there. Reince is out of there. It's going to be interesting to see who's next. As long as Steve Bannon and John Kelly can get along, that'll be a A1 team for President Trump.
Well, they're going to have to get along.
Mm-hmm.
They are. Yeah.
All right. So, any last comments on Reince?
Bye, Reince. Yeah. Would you ever trust?
Nah. Hey. Goodbye.
Yeah. We never liked you. We never trusted you. You were always a slimy SOB.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now I think hopefully stuff can get done in the hands of John Kelly. So let's go back. Let's go back to this morning, last night. The GOP, the Congress was trying to vote on Obamacare. A skinny repeal, if you call it. So basically the skinny repeal would have eliminated the mandate, eliminate all the mandatory fees and all that, the taxes and all that from the individual that doesn't want Obamacare. And it failed in the hands of John McCain. It was a 49-51 vote. John McCain and two other Republicans, one from Alaska, and I think Susan Collins.
Murkowski. Oh, yeah.
Susan Collins, the woman from Alaska, and John McCain were the three ones that voted against it. If John McCain didn't vote against it, it would have gone to a tie, and Mike Pence would have been there to break the tie.
That's right.
So, yeah, I absolutely have no sympathy for John McCain anymore. Actually, I never did have sympathy for him.
I never had.
Yeah. I never did like him. I knew he was a GOP establishment, deep state operative. He was, he never did like Trump. He was a backstabber to Trump. And this just right here just puts the icing on the cake.
Step down.
Yeah.
Well, listen to this. John McCain, he's put out his new re-election for the Senate. I think 2018 is it next year?
Yeah.
And his quote or his slogan is "Leading the fight to stop Obamacare."
Yeah.
And then it says approved by John McCain, paid for by friends of John McCain. Oh my God, he has to change that.
Are you sure that's the 2018 and not the 2008 slogan?
No, I swear this is the one. Yeah, I just looked at his website.
Wow. Okay. So yeah, I personally don't see John McCain being reelected unless he rigs the damn election. Because Arizona is the state he's senator at, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Arizona, from what I understand, is that Obamacare premiums has gone straight through the roof, like almost 200%. Yeah, I don't see him being reelected.
I mean, I hope not. If
yeah,
it would be one of those things. It's kind of like, I don't know. I don't know how to say it without being really mean.
Go ahead and be mean. Be mean. Be mean, Amy. Come on, be mean.
He has proven himself to be a true scumbag. I mean, he really is a scumbag.
I mean, here's the thing. He said he's a war hero. War heroes don't turn their backs on America like John McCain.
Right.
He may have been at that particular time, but he's not right now.
Yeah.
I mean, what he did, I'm not gonna downplay anything that he did, because wasn't he a war prisoner?
He was captured. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to say that wasn't heroic or brave and all that, but whatever has happened from then to now, he's obviously not the same person, and it doesn't, just because of his past doesn't mean we can excuse his present behavior.
Yeah, I mean, he really sold out.
Yeah, he did.
He sold out. Yeah. He sold out his country. He sold out his party. He sold out everything. And he's in the pocket of George Soros.
Yeah, and that makes you think, why would he, say he was going to do it, and then all of a sudden, last minute, he changes his mind? Who got to him? Or was it, a play all
just
along?
one big show, one big political theater?
I think he was always like that. He's always been like this. He's always been a loser. He's always been a scumbag. Just the guy. He needs to step down. He's not doing any good there. He just let the governor of Arizona choose his replacement. And his replacement, I can assure you, will be a lot more conservative than John McCain is.
I mean, just like I said last week, this whole brain cancer thing that he has is 100% karma. It's coming back to haunt him. It's karma, and I don't really, it just depends on how serious his brain cancer is. I don't see him living between now and midterm elections. I really don't see it. It just depends on how serious his brain cancer is.
I'm sure
we're talking at least maybe 9 to 12 months. I mean, if he lives.
And brain cancer can, be rapidly develop rapidly.
This is an aggressive. From what I understand, this is a very aggressive form of brain cancer. So
it looks
so
like
maybe he knows that he doesn't have much long to live, and so that's why he's screwing President Trump.
It says on July, when he was in the hospital, earlier in the month, he underwent a procedure to remove a blood clot from above his left eye. And then I guess that's how they found out about the brain tumor.
I mean, the thing is, it's not so much that he's screwing over President Trump, it's that he's screwing over America. That's what he's doing.
And President Trump, okay, let's go back. I want to go back to President Trump. He did something that no other political candidate did. He exposed the mainstream media, okay, and now he's exposing how hypocritical the people that was elected in Congress are. I mean, 7 years ago, everybody on the right side said, we need to repeal Obamacare. We have to have the House to repeal it. We have to have the Senate to repeal it. We need to have the White House to repeal it. Okay, flash forward to 7 years later, you've got all that. Now they're saying, well, we can't do that unless we have a replacement plan in place. We still can't do it. I mean, give me a break already. I mean, here's what, okay, I don't know if President Trump can do this or not, but what he needs to do is issue an executive order relieving all of the mandates from Obamacare, saying, all right, no more individual mandate, no more paying taxes if you don't have Obamacare. He needs to issue an executive order. I think President Trump needs to step in with an executive order at this point.
Well, he would still get opposition from these Republicans, these rhinos.
Yeah.
You know, he tweeted out about Lisa Murkowski, and deservedly so, that she was, you know, blocking any possibility of getting Obamacare repealed. He said, too bad. And it's deserved. I saw her on TV. She was acting like an arrogant bitch. Like, I'm doing this for a lot of people.
I mean, Susan Collins, Murkowski, and John McCain, they all need to lose their seat. And I really do see that. I really do see that. I really hope someone that is actually wants the president's agenda to go through challenges those people and wins and win and win and win and win.
Well, there's a lady in Arizona, Dr. Kelly Ward, who understands very conservative. She would be a prime candidate to take over McCain's seat, I think.
Yeah, I've heard of her, and I follow her on Twitter recently, and she's very pro-Trump, and that's what we need. We don't need any more of these, neocons that's against the president. We need the pro-Trump people in there so they can push his agenda through. Once his agenda finally gets pushed through, then he will be up for re-election, and he will get re-elected, guaranteed.
Well, you know, these rhino senators, they just don't seem to give a damn that their jobs are on the line. The midterms are coming up.
Yep.
Well, that Debbie Wasserman Schultz, you know, she's a congresswoman.
Oh, we're going to get to her. We are going to get to her.
We will get to her. I think Lucille is anxiously waiting on Debbie Wasserman Schultz.
Yeah.
So we'll definitely get to her. So what do you guys see for 2018? What's going to happen in 2018?
If the Republicans do not get their act together, they are going to lose the House and the Senate. That is going to happen.
Well, I don't really see them losing the House and the Senate because everybody is pro-Trump at this point. No matter what the freaking polls show that he's freaking 6% in the approval rating.
That's not cool. That's bullshit.
Yeah, it is. His approval rating is through the roof, and we'll get to the Boy Scouts in a little bit because that right there tells you
to say about that.
That right there tells you that his approval rating is through the roof. So I don't see them losing the seat. I don't really see them losing the majority of the House because the Democrats, they have nothing. They've got the only thing they've got is a ripped off Papa John slogan: a better deal, better jobs, better wages, and better whatever. They don't have a blue collar rural American platform yet. They don't have nothing, and I don't see them getting a platform. The only thing they have is anti-Trump and Russia. So if they keep on with that platform, then they will continue to lose seats. The GOP.
It seems to me that the Russian narrative is losing ground very quickly.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't heard anything about Russia this week. The only thing I have was about Russian sanctions, and that was it. So the Russian narrative is on its way out. Then there'll be a new narrative coming in, which I dread hearing that. But the GOP right now, I think, can be on fire if conservatives and independents run on the pro-Trump platform. That's what they have to run on if they want to get reelected or if they want to get elected. So the pro-Trump platform is where it's at.
Well, yeah.
So if they run on that, then they can keep the House in the majority.
But what I'm thinking is, I mean, if these rhino Republicans and these establishment GOP members continue to pull their crap.
Well, Trump's already exposed them. Trump has already exposed the GOP establishment and the rhinos. So they're automatically out. I'm predicting it right now. They're automatically out. The John McCains, the Lindsey Grahams, all of them, they're automatically out because they're not pro-Trump, and the American people already know that.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is, if the GOP loses those seats to Democrats, then there could be that could be the reason. That could be what we see as far as the GOP losing the majority in the House and the Senate.
I just don't, I don't see them losing their seats to Democrats. So I see them being replaced by other Republicans, and then in the election being voted in. But it just depends on who's running up against them. Is the main. That
is what.
Yeah, there needs to be fresh faces. You know, people need to step up and stop allowing the same. And you know that have been doing it, like McCain, and they have to go, and there has to be competition because they're winning and they keep getting in because there's not anybody else to do it.
Yeah, and that's that's a great point, which is why, you know, I think what needs to happen is that Congress needs to be, you know, abolished and then reform with term limits. They need to have term limits so that John McCain can't run 60 times in you know 6 years or whatever. So there needs to be term limits in Congress, majorly.
Yes, and I don't know why there isn't
a 5 or a 10-year term limit.
Yeah.
I mean, the president has a term limit, so why wouldn't every other branch or job, and why don't they have term limits? And what can we do to, you know, make sure that term limits are, you know, put into place? Can we start a petition? If we get like 100,000, doesn't it automatically the White House has to look at it?
Yeah, the White House has to look at it if there's 100,000 you know, signatures on a petition. The only thing I can think of is if, you know, we do the petition, the White House looks at it, and, you know, Trump needs to, like, you know, sign an executive order or something that states, you know, Congress has to, you know, have a 5 or 10-year term limit. After that term limit, then you cannot get reelected.
Oh, here's an interesting tweet by Roger Stone. This is just from 22 minutes ago. Priebus disloyalty further proven by the fact that he is on CNN running his mouth.
Yeah. Roger Stone is great. I mean, he is fantastic. He does some fantastic stuff.
He is. He's great. He's just amazing.
He reminds me of like a pimp daddy. I don't know when he's you know got the button with the beach shirt and he's by the pool and he's like talking. It's pretty funny.
One thing I was going to mention was that I would love to see a replacement of I would love to see a replacement of the GOP establishment members, the rhinos, and all that. That's what I want to see.
Yep.
I would love to see them have. I would love to see some good conservative alternatives to run against these individuals.
Yeah.
You know, in other words, have primaries where
I think the biggest problem is the money that it takes for the campaign. I think that's where most people get stuck because, you know, it takes hundreds of thousands of dollars to, you know, do this. And I think that probably needs to be changed as well.
Yeah, because the people that, you know, is the lobbyists to them, they go to them for the money and they have to do what they say.
Yeah, exactly.
But so 2018, I think it's going to be a wild ride between now and midterm elections. It's going to be so wild.
Yeah,
well, the first Democrat came out and announced his presidential bid.
2020. Oh my God! His name is like what? John Delaney.
Yes, I think he's from Massachusetts or.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he's an Obama boy.
I haven't looked into the guy yet. But
I've never even heard of him until now. To be honest with you.
Yeah, he probably is an Obama bot.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he is an Obama bot. But 2018 is going to be wild. Leading up to 2018 is going to be even wilder.
Well, if this year or, this 6 months have anything to do with how the next 6 months or the next year, I mean, we're going to be pretty busy and entertained, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen anything like this in my entire life, and I am so glad I'm living through this. You guys are older than me, so have you seen anything like this?
No.
Not in my lifetime.
No. Mm-mm. I mean, not that I paid much attention before, but I think that how can you not pay attention now? I mean, it's like everywhere. If you're not paying attention, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's everywhere now. It's just everywhere. I never paid attention.
And I can tell you that in my lifetime, I've never seen a political figure be so despised by the mainstream media as I have seen President Trump.
Yep.
And be so opposed and have fake stories made up about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, before this, I've never paid attention to politics. I never cared about politics because I knew that the Democrats and the Republicans were all the same. They was just, it's just fake political theater for people's entertainment. And, yeah, and the media and all that. I never really paid attention to the news. I never watched the news because I knew how biased they were. I knew how lying crooks they were. And it just shocked me when Trump ran and he brought all that up to light. And now people finally realizing it. Something that, a select few people already knew beforehand.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's pretty much.
And also, Scaramucci or however you pronounce. Is it Scaramucci? Okay, Scaramucci. Okay, he's not taking the salary that the.
Oh yeah, I heard of that.
Yeah, he's not taking it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he's going to donate it, right?
He's doing with it.
Yeah, he's not taking
Trump
a salary.
just donated this. I think Trump just donated the second quarter to the Department of Education.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I mean, he's the first president that takes his salary and donates it to the people
because he doesn't need it, and
he doesn't. Yeah, exactly. He doesn't need it.
So, I mean, it kind of makes all the previous presidents look like big pieces of ass, Yeah. I mean,
but I guarantee that will not be reported in the media.
Yeah, just select media.
The fake news will not report that he is donating his salary to certain charities and things of that nature.
Yeah,
they won't report that.
Of course not. Why would they?
Yeah,
because it's not important or anything.
It doesn't fit their narrative.
Because to them, Trump is the orange Hitler. I mean, basically, that's what they think of him. Yeah. This is how they feel about this president. They hate him. They despise him.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason that they hate and despise him is because he is actually, he is fighting the establishment. He is not establishment.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted somebody, the fake news wanted somebody that they could control, somebody that they could have some sort of power over.
Mm-hmm.
And Trump's like, I'm not playing that game.
Yeah. Yeah. They can't, the media cannot control the narrative now. They're powerless. They are powerless now.
And they don't like it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, speaking of the media and speaking of stuff that you won't hear on the media, let's get with Debbie Weissman-Schultz. And if that name sounds familiar to you,
the Ramen Noodle Head. her hair looks like ramen noodle.
Ramen noodle.
I call her Baghdad Bobby because she was always during the Obama administration when everything was going wrong. No, there's nothing going on over here. No, over there. No. Don't don't worry about that. Everything's fine. The Republicans aren't investigating anything over there. No.
Yeah, so if Debbie Weissman Schultz name sounds familiar, she was a prominent role in the 2016 election. She had to resign her position as the head of the DNC because of the WikiLeaks emails, and that basically what she is. However, after she resigned, Crooked Hillary picked her up as part of her campaign. Now she's back, and this time not very, very good. Her IT staffer got arrested, one of half of the Awan brothers. And so let's see if I can find this story and break it down to you, so that I know what the
guy was found with smashed hard drives, all kinds of things.
Yeah, he was the one. Yeah, he was the guy that smashed the hard drives, and so
he was trying to flee the country when he was apprehended.
Yeah, he was. He was fleeing the country.
They're Pakistani nationals. They're not.
He wired money to Pakistan too. Before he
almost 300,000, and he did it from a Washington D.C. Credit union.
And keep in mind, he was still employed up until he got arrested by the FBI. Then he got fired.
And his wife actually she made it to Pakistan. She was stopped, and she had $12,000 cash on her, and they let her through. So she got away.
Yeah, so why he was arrested was because he rented his house out to a Marine, and the Marine found hard drives that looked like it was going to be tampered with, and he saw some equipment as well, some expensive technology equipment, and he reported that, and the FBI got a hold of that, and now he's being arrested. And now, let's see here. Debbie Schultz now is avoiding reporters since her IT staff has been arrested.
She's gonna act like Baghdad Bobby again. No, he didn't do anything wrong. There's nothing going wrong over there. Pay no attention to that.
And not only that, she basically tried to extort a DC police chief, saying, "Well, since this guy has not been, in an investigation, we need those laptops and stuff back." And the police was like, "No, you can't have him back because it's evidence." And Debbie was like, "Well, there will be consequences if you don't return all this."
Total bitch face.
Total.
I'd be like, bitch, we're the law, and you're not. You're a congresswoman. You're subject to the same laws as everybody else.
That cop should have arrested her on the spot.
Oh, did you see the video clip when she was talking?
Yes, I did.
She said she was strung out on drugs. I don't know what the hell's wrong with her.
She is completely insane. This woman is insane.
And now her brother, which is a lawyer, is representing her.
Yeah, representing her.
Nepotism.
Yeah, so I don't see that. I don't see him probably representing her for much longer, because if there is something there, then that'll be obstruction of justice, probably.
Yeah.
Now let's go back to the Anwar brother renting the house out to the Marine. Okay, if you're going to be a criminal, at least be a good criminal. Get rid of the evidence. I mean, why would you leave that and rent your house out? Wouldn't that be the number one thing you do? Oh, let me get rid of my stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not even.
This guy was not really smart.
Well, and these brothers have been, I would say, the website Zero Hedge, they have been doing stories on this since February. They've been doing this is not just something that happened. These this has been an ongoing thing. These brothers are accused of leaking, top intel to foreign governments. So this is the thing that blows my mind is, the mainstream media is sitting here, going on about this Russian collusion when there's nothing there, when there is a, documented, provable foreign government, scandal leak going on, and nothing is being said. Nothing.
The only people that's been talking about this is Tucker Carlson and Hannity, because I've been watching it for the past couple of days.
The Daily Caller.
Daily Caller put out a couple of great pieces all about it.
Yes, yeah, they did.
And you actually retweeted something that a famous person actually responded to you, Amy. Why don't you tell us about that?
Oh, yeah. Well, I started following this guy. His name is Nick Short, and he is an investigative journalist. And I want to. He works for Wayne Dupree. He does, I guess, a lot of his writing. Anyway, he had put out something the Daily Caller found, and it was a list of the government officials that these brothers did work for, and it broke it down to how much they were being paid. And it's not chump change. I mean, it's, in my opinion, it's a lot of money. I mean, these brothers racked it in, and I had just quoted the tweet, and I said, oh wow, these brothers sure get around. And I don't know what happened. The tweet just exploded out of nowhere. And I think it got retweeted almost 2,000 times now. And then last night, Roseanne Barr responded to my tweet.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she's very pro-Trump. She likes Trump.
She is.
Yeah, but the tweet itself was kind of confusing. I was like, what? What is she talking about? I had to Google it, and then I was like, I don't know, because I asked Shane, I'm like, how do I respond? I don't want to sound stupid.
Ever since I found out she was pro-Trump, I gained more respect for her. I really have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to not be a big fan of hers, but now I find out she's pro our president. Hey, all right.
Yeah.
Well, my mom used to watch Roseanne when I was a kid. With John Goodman. Y'all remember that show, right?
Oh yeah. My mom still watches it.
So you can still find it on like TV Land or some.
Yeah.
They're actually rebooting it. They're in the process.
Yeah,
of rebooting it.
Yeah, did a reboot of it. Yeah, they're gonna bring back the original cast. Yeah.
So I guess what she had tweeted was, she said, what did she say? Stop
refuting.
I can't remember. Refuting. Let them, sink themselves or something. And I guess refuting means, proving a political lie to be trying to prove them wrong. So, but the way that it was worded kind of confused me at first.
I think what she's saying is give them enough rope, they'll hang themselves.
Yeah, well, that's what I gathered from it. I think I was just excited. I was excited, and I was shocked. I was like, oh, wow, this is pretty cool. So I wasn't thinking properly anyway, but I think I wound up responding back, and I just said, I wish, more celebrities would be as brave as you are. And then I thanked her because,
I tell you, you should start following on Twitter James Woods, the actor James Woods.
James Woods is great.
James Woods. I love James Woods. I love James Woods.
I see a lot of the people that I follow, retweet and, a lot of his stuff, but I don't know who James Wood is.
Oh, yeah.
You never heard of James Woods?
He was in Casino.
No.
He was
an actor.
Oh, he's terrific. He's great.
What movies was he in?
Casino. He was in Casino. He was in, God.
Oh, he played a white supremacist in one of the movies with Whoopi Goldberg and Alec Baldwin.
Ghost to Mississippi. He played.
That is a fantastic movie.
I've seen that movie.
Yes,
I didn't.
That is a great movie. That was him. He played the racist guy in there.
Yeah.
He always plays. James Woods always plays the villains.
Yeah.
He's usually the villain.
He is terrific. That's the celebrity I'll start following on Twitter for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna. This one guy that I follows him, and I guess he retweeted one of this guy's tweets. So I mean, I have seen a lot of his stuff.
He trolls the leftists all the time. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
He is great. He's amazing. I love James Woods.
James Woods needs to do a freaking podcast.
He does.
Oh, I'm following him.
He does a podcast?
Oh, no, she said he was following him.
Oh, I thought you said he.
Yeah, no, I am.
No, I thought you said that he was doing a podcast.
I wish he was. That would be awesome.
That would be awesome. He needs to do a podcast.
Other celebrities do podcasts. I don't see why he couldn't.
James Woods, I would listen to that podcast.
I would too.
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
James Woods is awesome. Oh, yeah.
He put this little picture up, and it said, "Welcome to Cornwall. When it's hot, please dress the body you have, not the body you want. Thanks."
I love that.
It's like the people of Walmart, you know, when you go in there and it's like,
oh my God, have you seen those pictures? Have you seen
it's a website. Yeah, you go on there.
Lord.
I've taken a few myself of people.
I mean, good Lord, these people, some of these people who wear these tight, like spandex and all that crap, people who should not be wearing spandex.
Oh, you talking about what, people at Walmart?
Yes.
Yeah, I've been on there quite a few
There's
times.
a lot of people that should not wear half the things they wear.
Exactly.
Look in the mirror when they leave the house. What about their loved ones? Do they ever say, "Hey, you know, you don't really look that good"?
I'd be so embarrassed. I'd be so embarrassed if I was with them.
Do not wear booty shorts. If you are 300 pounds and over, booty shorts do not look good on you.
Please, no Daisy Dukes.
You know, it's funny. I used to wear, you know, clothes like that, and when you reach a certain, I guess, you know, after I turned 30, I just feel like I don't belong in those clothes anymore. And I just felt awkward. So like in the past like couple of years, I've had to, you know, redo my wardrobe because I just didn't feel like that is appropriate. I don't know. It's a really weird thing.
And don't get me started on them old women that's trying to, you know, dress up like they're 20 years old or something.
Yes.
Lord.
It's like there comes a point where I mean, I guess some women don't have that, but it was just like, well, I mean, I feel like I still look cute, you know, but I don't look like a hoochie anymore. It's like, it's just some things that aren't acceptable, and some women just don't ever get to that point.
Gravity is going to do its work on women at a certain age.
Oh yeah, unless you have, you know, plastic surgery and tummy tucks and breast boostering. I mean,
oh my God, this is great.
Yeah.
So where were we?
We were talking about Debbie Wasserman Schultz.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So
ramen noodle. Oh.
Ramen noodle.
You know, and she's from Florida too. I'm like, oh God.
Oh yeah.
Oh God. I'm so sorry, Amy.
I mean, I thought she was a carpetbagger.
I'm so sorry.
I am too. I hope she gets arrested.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, so
they need to start arresting these people. I mean, I think it's great that the IT people got arrested, but don't tell me for a second that this Debbie, Noodlehead didn't know what was going on.
exactly what was going on.
She knew, just like Hillary knows, and all of them know. It's time to start arresting these people and holding them accountable. They have to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think is going to happen? You think the IT guy is going to get arrested, put in prison?
Is he still in prison? Well, he may, but I think if somebody's going to go down as an American, it's going to be her.
Is he going to throw her under the bus? See,
who's going to throw who under the bus?
Debbie Wasserman Schultz.
Debbie Wasserman Schultz is going to throw him under the bus. I can see that.
Well,
I can see that. Yeah.
That could happen too, but I mean, he could do the same to her, though. Also.
Well, yeah,
it just depends.
It depends on what's on her laptop too. Now, let's see what they find.
Oh, did they get her laptop?
Yeah, that's what she was talking to that police chief.
Oh, Lord.
She wanted her laptop back. That's what she was going on about. Yeah. They took her stuff.
I didn't know that was her stuff. I thought she was talking about, I thought that was the other people's stuff.
No, it was hers, and that's what she's saying. Why can't she have it back when she's not under investigation? It was her. It's hers. And she wants it back. And that's when the police chief was like, well, these are extenuating, circumstances.
Yeah.
You're not getting it back.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're going to find some stuff. So it'll be interesting to see what comes of this.
It's like this is part of a police investigation. If you try to obstruct this investigation, guess what? Your ass is going to wind up in cooler too.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's going to be really fun to see what happens after all this. Because the guy, I think he made bail, and he's like on house probation. They got him on GPS.
See, they could have gotten her on obstruction of justice for making that threat, because there will be consequences.
Yeah, I mean, talk about obstruction of justice.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
Be right back. Get some to drink.
Ew. You know what? She's a Florida Gator. I was looking at her Twitter, and she must have went to Gainesville for college.
Oh, yeah. Are you a Florida Gator, Amy?
No. I'm a Seminole.
What's a Seminole?
Tallahassee. Oh, the Seminoles, Florida, FSU, Florida State University.
Oh, okay. I'm not really good with football. I don't watch football.
Well, see, Gainesville is close to me. It's not that far.
Mm-hmm.
But no, my dad was always a Seminole fan because, in Florida, it was either you were a Seminole or a Gator. Those were the two biggest. They still are the two biggest rivals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's see here. So, Debbie, I think she's going to get arrested unless she throws some people on the bus.
It would be interesting to see if she ever came out and said anything about, Hillary, and that would be interesting.
Yeah, that would be. I'd love to see that. I mean, somebody's going to get locked up. Somebody's going to get prison. But the thing I'm concerned about is the Awan brother. And I mean, this dude can one day he can be alive, the next day he turns up mysteriously gone and dead. I mean, this is how these people operate. I mean, we could have another Seth Rich case on our hands.
Yes, I would kind of. I don't know if she ever, came up as she committed suicide. I don't know.
Oh, Henry's back. All right, so Henry, while you were gone, we was talking about maybe one of this, since this Awan brother is still out there, he could wind up dead.
Oh boy,
yeah. Be another Seth Rich.
Mm-hmm.
But let's see here. So I'm on the Daily Caller, and House Judiciary Republicans call for a second special counsel to investigate Clinton, Comey, and Lynch. So they sent a letter to Jeff Sessions and Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein, and they want a second investigator to match Robert Mueller, who's investigating the fake Russia campaign, and they want them to investigate the whole Clinton, Comey, and Lynch debacle, which hopefully Jeff Sessions will abide by that and, get the special counsel up and running.
I agree. He does need. He needs to start. He's going ahead. I think the president was trying to light fire under his ass.
Yeah. So speaking of Jeff Sessions, I think Jeff Sessions needs to stay. I really support Jeff Sessions. He's doing a fantastic job as Attorney General, but he needs to really needs to ramp up on the Clintons and Comey and the Obama administration. I mean,
yes.
What he's doing with the pedophiles and the MS-13, great, fantastic. But let's get into some more stuff. The Clintons, the Obamas, everybody. Let's put them all on trial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
But do you think Trump would fire Sessions? That's the major question that's been roaming around because of his displeasure at him. I hope he doesn't. I hope he does not fire Sessions.
I hope he doesn't either.
Lindsey Graham, and that's a hell of a name for a man, Lindsey, especially a dandy like him, says, well, if he fires Jeff Sessions, there's going to be hell to pay. I'm like,
that's great.
I'm like,
okay,
all
right, what I don't understand is that when Trump nominated Sessions for Attorney General, everybody bashed him, and they called him racist and all this nonsense. And now he's on the verge of being fired, and now everybody's saying, "Oh, he shouldn't fire him. He shouldn't fire." I mean, what is it? What is it? I mean, he can't be racist. He can't be.
It's so funny. It's comic opera to see the Democrats now all of a sudden stand behind Jeff Sessions, just like they did with Comey. They did the same thing with Comey.
Yeah, it's really comical, especially with John McCain now. Apparently, John McCain's the new face of the left now because of what happened last night.
I mean, it's just amazing how the left embraces these individuals all of a sudden if they're on the verge of being fired, but it's only because of their hatred of President Trump.
Mm-hmm.
It's not necessarily because they like Jeff Sessions. It's not necessarily because they like James Comey. They probably do like James Comey because he is very. I mean, Comey. Well, he was. Remember, he was the same one that pretty well cleared Hillary Clinton.
Well, I think as for James Comey, it just depends on what field he was playing on. If he was playing for Hillary Clinton, which is not prosecuting her, they were like, yeah, he did the right job. And then if he was playing the other field of releasing, saying, hey, this is some more emails we got to look for. And they're like, oh, it's 11 days before the election, and you can't do that, and blah, 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 blah. I mean, they're so back and forth. You can't keep up.
Mm-hmm. It's incredible the hypocrisy of the left. I mean, it's just amazing to see them flip-flop like they do. I guess it's not surprising, but it's interesting to see them flip-flop. And it's like they'll defend Sessions in one breath, like if Trump is coming after him, and then but if Sessions were to step out of line, oh, he can't do that. Like let's say if Sessions were to open an investigation on Hillary, they'd be all over him.
Yeah. Well, if you're okay, for an example, if you remember, way back, 11 days before the investigation, before Comey reopened the investigation, he reopened it and be like, that he deserves to be fired. Trump fires him. He doesn't need to be fired. Why did he fire him? It's obstruction of justice. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
I mean, give me a break, people.
Right. Yeah. You had Maxine Waters saying the FBI director.
Don't get me started on Crypt Keeper.
The FBI director has no credibility. No.
You think he'll run for president?
Oh God, I hope not. Maxine Waters.
Oh,
Didn't
Lord.
she say she was going to?
She said, "I will if they want me to."
Ew,
If
who
my,
would
if
ever
my
want her to?
my millennials, her millennials.
A millennial. Are
The
you going to
millennial.
vote for her?
Oh God, no! Hell no! I won't vote for her.
What is she going to run on? Impeach 45? Give me a break.
That's the only thing she's got. That's the only thing she's got.
That's all she says in her freaking town hall meetings.
Yeah, I know. I've seen those. Those are horrible town hall meetings. Yeah, Omar, please win. Please win, Omar. We need you to win, Omar.
I agree.
We need you to win. All right. Let's see here. What's on the topic?
Oh, just one thing real quick. I was reading. Apparently Scaramucci's wife despises Trump. And I guess when he decided to take the job is when she was like, we're done.
That's great. That's
so
hilarious.
Yeah. So she
hilarious.
So now he put out a tweet asking people to leave his family out of this, because everybody's, going wild about it. Not cool.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. So anything else about the Awan brothers? Well, the only thing I have to say is you just got to see what happens. Wait and see what happens.
Yes. Yep. We'll wait and see what happens. I mean, there's really not really much to say until things start coming.
Yeah.
To light.
So North Korea is back in the picture. They fired off a nuke and it almost hit Japan. And somebody needs to wrangle in the little dude. Somebody needs to wrangle him in. Actually, you know what? Lucille, I got a job for you. Got a job for Lucille. Yeah, so Kim Jong-un, we need they need to wrangle him in.
Oh yeah. This isn't good.
Yeah, absolutely not. I mean, this is some scary stuff.
No, it's very scary.
Because I mean, if that thing hits Japan, then that automatically means war.
Oh yeah.
We need Shane. We need Shane to go in there and turn the lights out and say, "Are you shitting your pants yet?"
You know, the one thing I was wondering is, we have all these THAAD missile systems in South Korea. Are they I mean, did they? Obviously, I guess they didn't intercept it, but why didn't they intercept it? I mean, why isn't that why they're there, is to stop, these missiles?
Yeah, I'm not sure why either, because the THAAD is supposed to be for interception, like you said, and for practice as well.
Yeah, there's I think 4 right now in South Korea. And I just saw, a little bit ago, South Korea wants more in there now. But if we already have 4 and one of those 4 couldn't take that missile out, I mean, why are we going to bring more $1 million equipment in there?
Yeah. Yeah, somebody needs to wrangle up the little dude and do something and try to stop this. I mean, China hasn't done their job. I think what Trump needs to do is basically punish China and say, hey, you know what? I gave you an ultimatum to wrangle in Kim Jong-un. You didn't do it, so I'm going to label you guys as the currency manipulator and have it at that. Because he said he was going to. He said in this campaign that he's going to label China as a currency manipulator, and then he went back on the promise because he wanted to work with China to get help with North Korea. They didn't deliver, so what he needs to do is basically say, you know what, I'm going to tax your goods that comes in. I'm going to label you guys as a currency manipulator until you get a handle on North Korea.
Well, I just, China has been, they have troops on the border, I guess what we would call first response, in case of, to handle, migrants or people fleeing, whatever could happen. And now they have like underground bases for their soldiers at the border. So why would China go through and do all this if they weren't expecting something to happen? Because China, I mean, I don't know what exactly we expect China to do. I mean, there's only so much you can do if this guy is completely unhinged and he's going to do what he wants to do no matter what. He doesn't care about his people. He doesn't care what happens. So I don't know if anybody at this point can rope him in and, he's a loose cannon. The dude's nuts.
Yeah. I mean, should there be regime change in North Korea?
If there is, their people need to do it. I think if we have outside forces coming in there, I think the people need to rise up. If they want this guy, I don't know. I
think it'd be kind of tough for the people to rise up because it's a dictatorship. It's a communist ship over there in North Korea. So,
yeah, but you see, if we go in there,
maybe South Korea should do the regime change.
Yeah,
go in there.
I know that the U.S. should not.
Oh yeah, definitely. I don't think the U.S. should do no regime changes at all.
No,
especially with Syria or North Korea or anything like that. I think either China, Japan, or South Korea, one of those should do the regime change.
Yeah, I mean, something needs to happen. I just don't think it's our place to go in there because we're going to be labeled, as trying to police the world if we go in there and do that.
If the United States needs to go in there and help with the regime change, the only time they need to do that is if the little guy strikes us.
Or one of our allies. I mean, if they actually... If they hit, Japan or South Korea or try to, hit us, I mean, that would give them reason enough to step in. But until that point, it's kind of a waiting game. We can't just go in there and blow them up because of a possibility. It's a bad game.
Yeah.
It is.
I don't know.
Absolutely.
Either way you look at it, the situation is just terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, the poor people there, I mean, God only knows what they go through. It's awful.
I don't know how to feel about the people that I don't know if they're like completely brainwashed at this point and there's no hope for them. Or
I think when you're in that environment, that's all you know. They don't know what freedom is, so they can't really miss it because they never had it. Yeah. See, like if for some reason, let's just say hypothetically, all of our rights were taken away and we became governed under a dictatorship, we know what our life was like before that happened. So with something with that happening with us, I mean, you're going to have more fighting. With those people, they don't really know what to fight for, and they're afraid. They'll get killed right there on the spot, bullet to the head, execution style, or he'll throw him to the pigs like he did his uncle.
Yeah, I mean that was just awful.
He's a sick man. There's just really no other way to put it.
Yeah, I mean, as bad as I hate to, John McCain came out and said he's a crazy little man, and that's the only thing he's gotten right is that Kim Jong-un's a crazy little man. But Henry, you got any other thoughts of North Korea?
Well, I mean, I agree. I mean, we should not be thought of as the police of the world. I mean, remember, President Trump did say he was the president of the United States, not the president of the world. So I think he's doing the smart thing by not going in there, you know, and trying to interfere in something that,
let China and Japan handle it.
Yes, exactly.
South Korea.
Do you know, on the borders of South Korea and North Korea, they literally, the South Koreans and the North Koreans are like in a face-off all day long. They literally stare at each other all day. That's their job. It's crazy. If you ever get a chance, you should. There's a documentary about it, and it's just really weird. It's just really, really weird. They're just waiting for the one to make one move, and it's just creepy. I couldn't imagine.
The war South Korea and North Korea is not officially over. It's just on a pause right now. And once North Korea or South Korea, then all hell is going to break loose.
You know, in North Korea is a beautiful country. I mean, from what I can tell from pictures, I mean, they have a lot of natural resources. It's just, it's beautiful. It's like a tropical island. I mean, like kind of South Korea, but, you know, I don't know. It's just a shame that people aren't able to go and visit freely, and I don't know. I don't like it. It's sad. I don't like dictatorship at all. But
yeah.
I mean, it's not like I can do anything about it.
Yeah. There's not really much we can do. I mean, it just has to play out.
Yeah.
Unless tomorrow we can wake up to a big mushroom cloud in the sky, there's not much we can do.
Right. I mean, he would have to strike at us first. That's the thing. Kim Jong-un, for us to do anything, he would have to strike at us.
Does Kim Jong-un really want to, harm us, or is he trying to test Trump? With all the, close strikes.
Well,
is he testing him?
This isn't something new. I mean, he was doing this when Obama was in office. It's not like he just started doing this to Trump. This has been an ongoing thing with this guy. He just doesn't like the U.S. I mean, I don't know what his beef is with us. I don't know what we did to him. I mean, if that's the case at all, I mean, who really knows? I don't know. We only know what we're told. So there could be tons. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I'm guessing. I have no idea.
Well, speaking of armed forces and the military, President Trump came out on Twitter on Monday and saying that transgenders is not allowed anymore because of cost-cutting measures, and the whole social experiment is not going to work. However, the Pentagon came out and say unless they receive an official memo from Trump, transgenders can stay. So I guess that probably in a couple of days, Trump might issue an official memo. So after Trump said that on Twitter, all hell broke loose. On the sideshow left. I understand where they're coming from.
John McCain was one of the ones that defended the transgender in the military.
John McCain should just go ahead and change his party to Progressive Democrat left. I mean, it's right there. But
Caitlyn Jenner or whatever she said, "What happened to your promise?"
Well, the way I feel about it is he's not. He said that he would fight for the TQRST community.
UV.
Yeah, XYZ. Minus chromosome. No, I'm just playing. This isn't about catering to a particular, community. I mean, if that's how they want to put themselves, or if they want to classify themselves, it's not about that. This is the military. I mean, about, defending the country. This isn't about, not to sound, rude and crude, but chopping your penis off, or, because that's what it is. I mean, when you have the gender reassignment surgery that, the government's supposed to pay for, that's what they're doing. And anybody to do that is not mentally stable in the head.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And plus, here's the thing. I don't want the military to pay for the transgender sex surgery. I don't want the taxpayers to pay for it. If they want to have a sex change, go right ahead, but pay for it yourself. We shouldn't be able to pay for it.
Right. I mean, I don't dislike anybody. I mean, if that's what they want to do, then let them. They're not bothering me. It's not, I don't have a problem with people. I don't really personally feel it's right. And I mean, my thoughts on it is a mental illness. There's something wrong with their genetics and their DNA. And I don't really know how else to say it. It's just, it's not natural. So for them to be going through this, there's something wrong. And for Obama should have never have passed it where they could be in there to begin with, and we wouldn't even be having this problem, let alone with a lot of the other problems we have.
But here's the thing. Nobody has ever brought it up before, up until when Obama brought it up.
No. Obama, made a lot of mess. And now, President Trump's trying to pick it up, and he's the bad guy. He's trying to take away health insurance, and he's discriminatory, and it has nothing to do with any of that at all. It's like, this is the military. This isn't playing dress up and, go do that at home.
Yeah.
Well, and plus, the military should not be some sort of social experiment either. Because here's the thing: if they, make it regular in the military, then what's next? They're going to do it in locker rooms, and then they're going to do it in bathrooms. So they're trying to push it in bathrooms now.
Yeah, they're trying to make it normal, and it's not normal.
Yeah. And plus, the transgenders makes up less than 3% of the population. And they have
less than 1%.
Really, less than 1%. Wow. And plus, they have a high suicide rate. So let's just say if you punt them in there, they've already got a mental illness. You put them in there. Not only that, they're going to get PTSD from the war if they were fighting war. They're going to get all these other mental problems with them, and then it's going to even hurt them even more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree. I don't think it's a good idea. But like Lady Gaga, when she came back and was tweeting to President Trump, and she kind of proved his point. She said, did you know of the group that you singled out today? 45% of them, ages 18 through 24, have attempted suicide already. Well, hello. If you're attempting suicide, you're mentally unstable and you're not military material.
Yeah. Because I was actually talking about suicide on my Shane Week videos, and I was like, suicide is a mental illness, and that you have to go and get help. And I don't believe in going and get pills to treat suicide, because you shouldn't be doped up on pills with suicidal thoughts, because that's just even more extreme. But go to like a family member or a friend, or call the suicide hotline, or a youth pastor or somebody, and get some help. And with suicide rates being so high with trans people, I mean, that's just even worse, putting them through the hardships of the military and everything. Because it takes a lot with the military.
Well, and they are depressed. I mean, and they know that they're not right, and And I know that sounds mean, but I don't know. They need help, and the military isn't the place to go.
I was going to say, I call her Lady Goo. I call her Lady Goo.
What did you say?
I call her Lady Goo.
Lady Goo. I call her Lady Satan.
You know what? It's kind of funny because I question if she was a man when she first became popular. I was always like, is this really a you know how there was rumors about it that she really was a man?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know.
Putting you on the spot, Amy.
I have no idea. No, I don't think so now, but I mean, who knows? Could be. Maybe Michelle Obama is a man. I don't know.
We know Caitlyn Jenner is a man. We know Caitlyn Jenner is a man.
Yes, he's a man.
We do know that. Yes, that.
That's not fake news right there. But Michelle Obama.
It used to be a man. And then
let me go. I want to go on a little rant. It's going to be controversial. Here's the thing: a sex change does not change your biological chromosomes. Okay, no. I equivalent a sex change to a boob implants. I equivalent that. You go into surgery, you get boob implants. They're boobs, but they're fake boobs. All right. You may be a woman, but you'll be a fake woman. All right, because your chromosomes is not changed. The X, Y, and XX chromosomes. Okay, there's no way of changing that. And now, unless science gets to the extreme point that you can change chromosomes, then there'll be a different topic about that. But yeah,
it's like, let's just say that a person died and their body was unrecognizable, and they had to take a blood sample or a tissue sample to identify if they were a male or a female. Guess what they're going to come back as?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing.
So
not only do we have transgender individuals, we have people who identify as different genders. I mean, we have all these so-called different genders. You know, I'm gender fluid. There's supposedly 76 different genders. I'm like,
that's nonsense.
Okay. It is. I agree. I'm just saying. These people think that there's 76 genders, which is ridiculous.
It is. It's A or B. I don't know how hard that is. I mean, how hard is that? Maybe it's because I don't suffer from that disorder, so I can't relate. I really
don't understand.
I can't understand.
Well, there's this. Okay, I don't know if you've seen the video that goes around, but I don't know if it's a real video or if it's just satire. But there's this woman. I think she's like in Japan, and she identifies herself as a cat. She's got cat ears, you know, and a cat tail and everything. I'm like, okay, first off, wouldn't that be bestiality if someone hooks up with her that's not a cat?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's a guy here in the United States that does stuff like a lizard. He's got
the lizard dude. Yeah, I saw him a lot.
He looks like a lizard.
He had his tongue.
He actually looks like a lizard. Yeah, it's really creepy.
To make it like a forked tongue.
Well, actually, there is a woman or a guy who actually, you know, made his face into like a face of a cat.
I see. That's just abnormal to me. I mean, I think it's cool on October 31st.
Yeah, exactly.
That's about the only day. But
it's like, do that shit on Halloween. Don't do it ever. Don't do it.
Well, it's kind of, you know, it's kind of like the people who think they're vampires and they drink human blood.
Yeah.
It's a mental disorder.
They actually, yeah, I think so too. I mean, there needs to be. All right, so I got some news coming in. So I have a couple of friends that lives throughout Florida and New York. And Mike, I'm just going to get his first name, Mike, he met President Trump today.
Nice.
And he shook his hand. And he told me, and he said that he mentioned me president, he said that I hope that you will stay supporters with all the things that's coming.
Very cool. Very cool.
Where did he meet him at?
New York, when Trump went to New York today in Long Island.
That is cool.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't actually shake his hand, but I stood in front of him.
That is awesome. I am. No, this is one step closer. I want to meet with President Trump one day. He's actually coming to West Virginia and doing another rally. I think next week. But I don't know where.
Close?
I don't know where, and I have to look it up right now.
You need to, because normally you can go ahead and get tickets. Well, it's not like you have to pay for it. You just,
Reserve your
it's kind
spot.
of like you reserve your spot. And they sell out, or they go pretty quickly. So you should probably look into that, and you should go, and then you can live stream it. That would be awesome.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, if he comes around here again, I'm definitely going to do that. Even if I have to wait, 5 hours in line again, I'll do it.
He's going to be at the Big Sandy Superstore in Huntington, West Virginia at 7. And Huntington is like a 3-hour drive.
Oh, wow.
But I don't know when. Don't know when, though. It's just going to be next week.
Are you willing to drive 3 hours?
It just depends. Just depends on what day it is.
That's a long drive. I don't know if I'd go that far. I may go I'd go to Tampa or Orlando, and that's probably like an hour and a half with the traffic. That's probably as far as I'd go. I wouldn't go that far. Only because I don't like driving, and I don't like traffic. And I don't like people trying to run me off the road.
Let's see here. All right, some other stuff is coming in. Top FBI lawyer under investigation for leaks, and this is reported by Breitbart.
Really? Who? What lawyer?
Let's see here. A Thursday report in Circus City cites 3 officials claiming that FBI General Counsel James A. Baker is the top suspect in an investigation into leaks of classified Department of Justice information to the media. The reports claims the investigation is criminal in nature. It is unclear what exactly the information Baker is suspected of leaking and to which outlets he did so. Baker is reportedly a close ally of, and here's his name again, of ousted FBI Director James Comey, who in 2014 appointed him to the current post as the top attorney representing the Bureau. According to a June report in Vox, Baker was one of the 3 officials to whom Comey turned soon after his infamous private audience with President Donald Trump, and when she later claimed through a memo leaked to Columbia law professor Daniel Richman that the president has asked him to let him go with regard to former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn. If Citra's report is accurate, it may be the first name to drop in Attorney General Jeff Sessions' rumored extensive probe into leakers. Yes, so Jeff Sessions came out the other day stating that he's going to crack down on the leakers. And I'm guessing Trump lit a fire under his ass because he came out and said that he's going to do an extensive probe into leakers of the federal government. Neither the Justice Department nor the FBI responded to Citra's request for comment on Baker being under investigation. DOJ spokeswoman Sarah Flores, F-L-O-R-E-S, did release this statement to the journalist Thursday. We have seen an astonishing increase in the number of leaks of classified national security information in recent months. We agree with White House Communications Director Anthony Scaramucci that these staggering numbers of leaks are undermining the ability of our government to function and to protect this country. Like the Attorney General has said, whenever a case can be made, we will seek to punt some people in jail. And we will aggressively pursue leak cases wherever they may lead. Mr. Baker?
Wait,
yeah, go ahead.
I've got to go refill my drink, so I'll be right back.
All right. Mr. Baker is not related to Reagan-era Secretary of State James A. Baker III or his son James A. Baker IV. Other than a brief stint in a private practice, Baker has been spent in the lion's share of legal career at the Department of Justice, having been hired through the prestigious DOJ Honors Program of 1990. He has extensive links to the intelligence community and having worked there for 11 years at the now defunct DOJ Office of Intelligence Policy and Review. He also served as Associate Deputy Attorney General from 2009 to 2011 under President Barack Obama, dealing with national security and intelligence matters.
Yeah. I was going to say, the other James Baker you mentioned that worked for Reagan, yeah, that's what I was thinking about when you said the name James Baker. But of course, I knew it wasn't him. I just happened to note the similarities of the names. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so, if this report is accurate, and I'm going to go on a limb and say Breitbart is pretty accurate, and they're reporting from CIRCA, CIRCA. I just hope this might be the needle in the haystack that needs to be investigated.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
All right, so let's see here. A week in Trump. Trump did a lot of stuff this week, and we'll discuss what happened on Monday. He came to my home state, West Virginia, to address the Boy Scouts. And my God, that was the best speech I've ever seen. It was one of the best that he's ever done. I watched all of it. And
he cautioned the Boy Scouts about fake news, too. That did not go over too well with some of the parents, but hey.
Give me okay, so he addressed almost 50,000 Boy Scouts, or the entire crowd was made up of 50,000 people. And I mean, they cheered him. They chanted USA, 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 and Trump, Trump, Trump. We love Trump. They chanted, they cheered, they hollered, they screamed, which the mainstream media did not like, because it's proof that over 50,000 people still supports him. They still support him. That right there punts a wrench in the whole fake polling of the whole approval rating that he has. I mean, 50,000 people. And plus, not only that, he did a rally in Ohio, I think, this past week. And he did another, and he's going to do another rally coming up in West Virginia. I mean, and that rally gave over 15,000 people. So Trump's base is still with him at this point. Now, unless you see the rallies that he has, slowly deteriorate of people, then that's when this should be a problem. But, as long as he holds these rallies, and as long as you can see the people at these rallies, his base is still there. We know that his approval ratings are at least over 50% at this point. There's no sugarcoating it. But this speech, the mainstream media hated it, and they basically compared the Boy Scouts to Hitler's youth. They said it was like a Hitler youth rally. I'm like, oh, good. Yeah. God. If you're in a debate and you invoke the Hitler argument, you've immediately lost the debate, because Hitler is basically white noise at this point. The mainstream media hated it because everybody still loves him. That's why. And it got to the point of where the mainstream media is like, well, this was supposed to be the Boy Scout. I mean, he talked about the Boy Scouts. He said, you know what, you guys are the next generation. Boy Scouts is going to stay with you, even though once you get out of the Boy Scouts. I mean, he said that, and he said,
that his speech. I applauded that speech. I thought that was very inspirational to young boys, and I thought he did a wonderful job. I have no idea how anybody could talk bad about that speech.
Yeah. I mean, anybody that talks bad about it is just, they have their blinders on, and they can think of is hate, hate, hate. That's all they can think of.
The people that are talking about it already don't like them. So it's like, it doesn't matter, again, if you cured cancer, it doesn't matter. They just don't like them.
Yeah, I mean, he can do.
There is some breaking news that happened.
Oh, really?
It said, I guess, it says 2 Zeta cartel members found guilty of murdering the ICE agent that passed away.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they found him guilty. And then it says, and then I guess another story is North Korea leader says he has observed a second ICBM test. And he said that the launch demonstrates a surprise attack capability. So I guess apparently there was a second one that wasn't reported about.
Yeah, I mean, do they? Okay, so going back to the murder of the ICE agent, they found him guilty. Do they say what sentence they've got? Are they going to
I don't
execute him, or are they going to
know.
put him in prison?
I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just saw that.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. I mean, this is how the journalism works. You know, every second there's a new story out.
Yeah. Yeah.
But let's see here.
Oh, we have a viewer.
Yeah, I saw that. It is, I think, Shannon Morocco is tuning in. Shannon, if you're watching, comment below if you got any stuff that you want to talk about, and I'll look in the comments and discuss it. But what were we talking about? Oh yeah, the Boy Scout speech. So yeah, I love that speech. One of the best speeches he gave him. But the mainstream media hate it. I mean, he like you said, Amy, he can cure cancer, and they'd be crapping all over that.
They would.
It just doesn't matter what he does.
Mm-hmm.
And I was listening to what you were saying about his support, and I have to agree. I haven't seen really where he's lost any support. I mean, I have seen some people that are not exactly happy with the whole Jeff Sessions, where they said if he does fire them that he'll lose their support, but as you know, that hasn't happened yet. So that's but I mean, the rallies are still massive. I just it's there, so they can put out these fake polls all they want. I wish I could do a poll where I could like a couple 100,000 people and base a poll off of like real people, not selective few.
There needs to be a change in the polling system. I mean, what needs to happen is these alternative media sites needs to start doing their own polling.
But the thing is
I actually believe
the alternative media sites have a specific following. You know that everybody that follows them,
but
if
maybe,
it's right or left,
maybe they can do a national polling, nationwide polling.
I wonder. I'm gonna have to see how these polling companies come about. Like, how do they?
Bill Mitchell, he is fantastic because he knows how the polling works, and he breaks it down for you. And he basically says they oversampled Democrats by 11 and 12 and 13. Yep. And so that's how those fake polls come about. Yep. But I'm curious as to about these polling companies as well. I mean, how they get their
maybe we should start a polling company. I wonder if we could do that.
They do start a polling company. They do very heavily oversample Democrats for sure.
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
Mm-hmm.
But I want a non-bias. I want everybody, like not even know what their political, opinion is.
Yeah.
Like poll somebody where you don't know if they're a Republican or an independent or, a Democrat. I don't think those questions need to be asked. It's either, do you support our president? Yes or no. I mean, all that other stuff doesn't matter.
Not only that, these polling companies or the mainstream media polls, they only give bits and pieces to the bits and pieces of information to the person that they're polling. So let's just say if I poll one of you guys and I don't want you guys to hear the good things that Trump's doing, and so I'll just take bits and pieces of what seems to be bad but really isn't bad, and they just feed that to the poll, and they're like, well, maybe he shouldn't do that, and he goes there yes and no. So that they do that too.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm trying to see if the men that, or the people that murdered the ICE agent, they were actually from Mexico. I guess the murder happened in Mexico back in 2011, and they were extradited to the States, and a federal court are the ones that convicted them.
Let's see, 2011, wasn't that part of Fast and Furious?
Might be.
It could be.
I believe so, because that happened in 2011. The ICE agent was killed because Eric Holder was making weapons deals. Remember they were the Fast and Furious thing.
They're awaiting. There's 5 defendants in the incident, and they're awaiting sentencing. So they haven't been sentenced yet.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. As you can hear in the background, it is raining.
Send it down here. Send it to us. Send it to us.
Yeah,
I heard that there was bad weather hitting your part.
Oh yeah, it's coming up.
We need it bad here.
Oh, you haven't? We haven't really got much rain either.
I'll do a rain dance for you, Henry and Amy, if you want some rain.
Yeah.
Do a rain dance.
Yeah, let me see it.
Oh yeah,
do it.
I can definitely hear it for sure.
I think there was lightning coming through too. So yeah. Hiya, 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 hiya. That's my rain dance.
With Lucille.
There you go.
With Lucille, yeah.
Partner in crime.
But yeah, so that's going to get the people that's not actual Native Americans on me, saying, "Oh, your culture influencing and whatnot." Cultural appropriation. Yeah, some fat white dude is going to teach me about culture appreciation for Native Americans on the internet.
Oh yeah.
No. Elizabeth Warren's going to be like, "Hey, Elizabeth Warren."
Yeah. Pocahontas.
Yeah.
No, she is no Pocahontas.
Yeah.
More like Pinocchio. Nose.
Actually, I said Pocahontas. F-A-U-X.
Pocahontas.
Yeah, Pocahontas. Well, Hiawatha works too. Hiawatha also works. So. Oh yeah, I can definitely hear it on your end there, Shane. I can definitely hear it.
Mm-hmm.
And this MS-13 gang, I mean, they're bad people.
Yeah, they are.
I was reading the history on them, and they came about in the 1980s, and it's mostly people from, I think, El Salvador or somewhere down there, somewhere in South America. I guess when they were having some type of civil war down in the countries, a lot of them migrated, to the States, and the gang came about to protect their own people from other gangs in the area, and then it kind of just spiraled out of control.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they're not good people.
Let's see here. What else? What else Trump did? Medal of Honor. He actually honored the first responders for the Alexandria shooting with Steve Scalise. And
he was released this week too.
Steve Scalise was released this week as well, yes. And that's great. That is great. Yeah. I mean, hope thoughts and prayers goes out to him and his family, and a speedy recovery. We wish him all the best on a speedy recovery.
Kim Jong-un still talking shit. He said, this guy don't stop. He said all of U.S. mainland is targetable in firing range.
I see it. Breaking 911 and breaking 911.
Yep.
North Korea leader says all U.S. mainland in range after missile test.
Yep.
Yeah, so this dude,
if it makes them feel better, they're in range too. We can get them.
Yep.
And if they can do it, we can do it better. And then you saw where Iran launched a missile up into space as well. Yesterday they did that. I think sanctions were put on that, I believe.
Yes, sanctions was put on Russia, Iran, and I think North Korea was the last one.
Yeah, but these sanctions don't really do much.
I mean, if they want to bomb us, they'll still bomb us. So, but I think they did prevent U.S. travel between here and North Korea, so nobody can travel to North Korea.
Yeah.
Which, who wants to? Why would you want to travel to North Korea in the first place?
Yeah.
I wouldn't go there personally, until Kim Jong-un gets taken care of. But let's see. So I'm trying to see. So Trump held a political rally in Ohio, and it's Trump with his rallies, and I'm glad he's doing these rallies, and I think what he needs to do is keep up with the rallies, and because once the midterms come around, he can use those rallies to his advantage and say, you know what, you guys remember John McCain? He voted against health care, so you know what, I'm not going to endorse him. I'm going to endorse his opponent, and go out and take these establishment people out with the rallies.
Yeah, take them all out.
Yeah.
Clean.
Hey,
Time to
if Obama could campaign for candidates and Southern president,
call Mike in.
Yeah, if Obama campaigned for Hillary Clinton, then Trump can do it as well. Let's see here. What else happened this week? A lot of stuff happened this week, and I can't keep up with half of the stuff.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what we missed.
But I am very happy that Steve Scalise was released from the hospital.
Yeah, that's good.
It's great.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
That's great news. That's great to hear.
I think on the Daily Caller, they said that mainstream media, CBS and NBC, did not cover the Medal of Honor recipients for Trump giving them to them.
Yeah, I guess that's not surprising. After all, CBS stands for constantly broadcasting shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the Trump oh my goodness, I can't think. The pastor Rodney Howard Brown. I guess InfoWars was talking about it this week.
Yes, yes, I heard that.
A couple other people where I guess apparently somebody had told him like a top government official had said something to this pastor that they had plans of taking President Trump out.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then when he was talking about it, CBN, Christian Broadcasting Network, removed that part from airing, I guess, is what happened.
Oh, wow.
Because he has his own, I guess, his own time slot for his, sermons that he does. And they, I guess, I don't know if they edited it or however they did it, but they took it out. So that was kind of disturbing.
Yeah, I know
like
what you're talking about. The pastor said that he received word from a higher up congressman. They said that he was going to plan to take out Trump by any means necessary. And
Yes.
I mean, any threat like that we have to take seriously, because Trump is basically treading lightly with the deep state, and with him doubling down and taking the gloves off, anything can happen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that is my biggest concern, is that his assassination. That is my biggest concern, because once he is assassinated, then there's actually no hope for this country anymore, because he was the only one that could turn this country around. And then you've got people like John McCain trying to take it back from him.
Yeah, I worry about it too. I mean, it's always something I worry about, you know, God forbid that ever happens. And to talked about this before, and it's one of those things that worry is never going to go away. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like that feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, me neither.
I mean, the only thing we can do is just pray for his safety and pray for his friends and family as well.
I do. I mean, I do every day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because he's
and I know
in some
a lot
stuff.
of people do.
He's going to expose a whole bunch of stuff when he gets the chance. And
you know, he does expose a lot, and I think he does it discreetly. Like a lot of his tweets and things, like they may sound, you know, stupid, but they actually mean something.
Yeah, they're like bits and pieces of information.
Yeah, it's like breadcrumbs.
Mm-hmm. Okay, the Homeland Security has officially announced a new director.
Oh.
Oh, that was quick.
Let's see here. Homeland Security released a statement from Kelly, announces new director. Friday afternoon, President Trump said in a series of tweets that John F. Kelly is new chief of staff. Let's see here. So who's the new one? Okay, he put out a statement saying that with he thinks 45 years of service and all that, but I'm trying to figure out who is the new one. Secretary
I tried looking
Dave
for
Lapan, Lapan.
I never heard of him.
I'm not familiar with him either, but hey,
the press secretary Dave Lapan, from the director of Homeland Security, announced that Kelly will remain DHS secretary until Monday, July 31st. At which time Deputy Secretary Elaine Duke will become acting secretary. Elaine Duke, I've heard of that name before. Elaine Duke.
Well, this just means things are getting more interesting.
I've heard of Elaine Duke. Let me look her up.
Is she related to David Duke?
Oh, God. I was just thinking that myself. I was like, oh, God, what if she's related to him and they want to call her she's a racist and all that.
That would be awful.
Were you reading my mind, Amy? Because I was exactly thinking the same thing.
I could have been. It could have been that ESP.
Elaine Duke. She was Deputy Secretary of Homeland Security, and now she's going to be acting Secretary of Homeland Security. She was under Secretary of Homeland Security Management at the department under both presidents of Bush and Obama. So, that's kind of concerns me right there if she's like an Obama holdover.
Oh, Lord.
But just gonna have to wait and see.
That's the last thing we need is more Obama holdovers.
Yeah. But it's going to be I can't wait to see who he's going to pick to replace Kelly. Hopefully it's a good pick. Hopefully it's a strong pick.
We certainly don't need any more Obama holdovers.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have enough of those. We've got plenty enough of those.
Too many freaking leakers as it is.
Yeah. But I think anything else happened this week? So much happened this week. Jeez.
I know. A lot.
Oh, okay. So have you seen the clip of Sarah Huckabee Sanders reading a note from one of the kids that was mailed to Trump?
Yes, I did. I watched that. I try to watch all the press briefings.
Yeah. So this wrote a letter from a 9-year-old kid, and in that letter, and I have a copy of it right here. It said, "Dear President Trump, my name is Dylan, but everybody calls me Pickle. I am 9 years old, and you are my favorite president. I like you so much. I had a birthday about you. My cake was in the shape of your hat." And he goes on to ask some questions. He asks, "How old are you? How big is the White House? How much money do you have? I don't know why people don't like you. You seem nice. Can we be friends?"
He needs to invite him to the White House.
Yeah,
he does. My picture is in here. So if you see me, you can say hi. Your friend Dylan.
Oh, it's cute.
Yeah. And so according to the Daily Caller, the 9-year-old kid cried when his letter was read.
Oh.
So on the As the White House Turns continues with news about Pickle, the 9-year-old boy who wrote the letter to President Trump, telling him how much he likes him and how much he wants to be his friend. Turns out Pickle is ratings gold. While reading the letter out loud was a stark departure from what typically happens at a White House press briefing. There appears to be no real norms with this presidency in case it turns out to be a good call. Pickle grew emotional when Press Secretary Sarah Sanders read his letter at the once televised briefing this week before she gave reporters a spanking. She also informed Pickle that Trump agreed to be his friend. The president would be happy to be Pickle's friend, she said. According to Washington Post Monica Hess, Pickle has been steeling himself to write a letter for a month before he acquired the head of Stream to do it. Watching the spokeswoman say that Trump wanted to be his friend makes Pickle laugh every time and cried a little for the first time because it was so emotional. This story reported. That's great. And I think Sarah Sanders said that they're going to start reading letters to the president from actual people at every press briefing now, which I think is great. I think it's great because that right there will put another thorn in the mainstream media, because if they read if they read letters and they're positive and they're pro-Trump, that's going to put a thorn in them. I think that's great.
Remember back during the campaign when the president was on the campaign trail, and there was one rally he held. It was this little bitty boy who was dressed like President.
Oh yeah, the mini Trump. Mini Trump. I saw.
He had him up there on stage, and he said, "That
was great."
You want to go back to your parents? You want to stay with Trump? He says, "Trump." He says, "Trump." That was adorable.
Mini Trump. Mini Trump's going to be the next president in a couple of years.
I love Mini Trump. He was adorable. He was so cute.
Have you seen the dancing or the singing Trump from America's Got Talent?
Oh, no, I haven't.
My friend put it on, or tagged me on Facebook. It's on my wall. It's really cool. It's so funny.
I have to check that out.
Yeah, he.
So is it a Trump impersonator that sings?
Yes, yeah, it's a Trump impersonator that sings. He was on America's Got Talent. It's great. I think it's. I think she put it on there yesterday or the day before, and I was going to send it to you, but then I got busy and I forgot.
Well, speaking of getting busy, did you finish up Breaking Bad, or did you forget to do that?
No, it's not. I didn't forget. I just didn't have time. No, I'm telling you, this week has been terribly busy. But
what was that, Lucille?
you
got something for Amy? Okay. So
nice.
Lucille's giving you an ultimatum to finish it by next week.
I know. Okay, I promise.
You promise? Okay.
I do. I pinky promise.
You pinky swear. All right.
I pinky swear.
She pinky swears, Lucille. She pinky swears.
Okay. Is Lucille okay with that?
She says you got 1 week to finish the rest.
Okay.
And if Henry wants to jump in, I will shut that shit down, Henry.
No,
I will shut
oh my god.
down.
No exceptions.
No exceptions, Henry.
Oh
man, you know what? The webcasting dead is going to be so much fun now because I've got this.
Yeah.
I'm going to get one, and then it's going to be twice the fun. And then Henry gets one, it'll be triple the fun.
I'm gonna check.
Hopefully, Ellen's going to get one too. Hopefully, Ellen will get one.
Check our GameStop, see if they got it. Yeah.
Check, if you got an FYE at your local mall, check it.
I have one of those.
We had a GameStop. Amy said she saw it at GameStop. So
yes, GameStop has them. They actually have they have a lot of cool. I mean, I like GameStop.
GameStop's got good stuff.
I want to get the Walking Dead Monopoly.
They have Walking Dead Monopoly?
Yeah.
FYE, they've got a Walking Dead lamp in the shape of Negan's bat. And they've got one with Daryl's crossbow.
Oh, I want that.
Sweet.
Yep.
That's awesome. See, in the mall, they have, we have GameStops 3 in like a 30-mile radius, but at the mall.
Oh, we've got 3. I've got 3 myself. Yeah. I got one at the mall. I got one at my local Walmart, and there's a Walmart down in Bluefield that has a GameStop. The
GameStop's in Walmart?
No, it's a mini mall. It's outside of Walmart.
I was like, I've never seen that. Yeah, but in the mall there's an FYE and a GameStop, and they're like right next to each other, and a Spencer's. They're all right there. It's like one-stop shop for all your obsessions.
That's the store I like to go to, the Spencer. They have all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Now, when we do The Walking Dead, do we do it like while we're watching it or after?
It's going to be a week. It's going to be this Saturday. So it's going to be so Walking Dead airs on a Sunday. So that following Saturday, we're going to discuss the first episode of it, and then it's going to be every Saturday after that.
Oh, okay.
So that we can predict what might happen on the next episode.
If I'm lucky enough, I'll get to see The Walking Dead on the road in October.
Ooh, that'd be good.
Like in San Francisco, because that's where I'll be staying the night before I fly back to Dallas. So I might get maybe if they have AMC at the hotel, I get to watch it.
The hotel should have it. They should. If not, you're gonna be where are you gonna be at, Henry?
That's gonna be in San Francisco. So
San Francisco. Do you know any big footers in San Francisco?
Well, I'm gonna stay at the hotel, so.
I was gonna say, if you knew anybody in San Francisco, you can go to their house and watch Walking Dead, and then go back to your hotel.
Well, just bring do you have a laptop? Because you can sign in to, most of the cable providers allow you to sign in.
Yeah.
And
oh, yeah. That's true.
Because, I mean, the hotels have Wi-Fi, so that should, that's probably what I would do.
Speaking of that, Amy, you got to give me your photo updated so I can fix you up on my title card for the Webcasting Dead. He gave me a
Okay.
photo, but it wasn't. It was too dark. It was too dark.
I was going to
Okay.
say, most likely I will take my laptop with me on my trips. So
I'll send you another one.
All right. So let's get into. I think that's pretty much it in the nation today this week.
yeah,
A lot of things happened. Let's go to local news. Henry, you got some local news for us?
I do. I have a couple of stories.
Ooh.
I'm going to start out. Let's see. I think I'll start out with what's going on this weekend here in Mississippi. Let's see. This weekend in Mississippi. This weekend, the Natchez Food and Wine Festival is kicking off and lasting through the weekend. Come experience one great event after another with culinary enthusiasts from all over the area. You'll be able to indulge in the finest food, wine, and prominent chefs and entertainment. Don't miss out in Natchez. Saturday is Global Tiger Day, and they'll be celebrating at the Jackson Zoo. Residents Eco and Sari will be hanging out. There will be a special alligator feeding, and you'll even get to see the newest baby lemurs hang out with their parents. Come celebrate tigers at the zoo. Of course, it's tax-free weekend, so if you've been eyeing at something special this weekend might be the one to go get it. So grab your biggest shopping bag and your checkbook and head to the stores, but do remember restrictions apply.
Is that for the whole country?
I don't know. All I know is that's in here in Mississippi, right before school starts, they have a tax-free weekend. So.
Oh, tax-free. Oh, yeah,
we have
Virginia
it. I
does
just
that.
don't know. We do too. I just don't know what weekend. I'm hoping it was next weekend because that's when I'm going shopping.
Yeah, I think it's usually the last weekend in July, I believe it is. So.
See, school starts back August 10th.
I think Virginia does it. West Virginia don't do it, but Virginia does, and it's usually the week or two before school starts back.
Yeah, our school year starts on August 7th. My niece is supposed to go back on August 7th, but the thing is, my mother has her first cataract surgery that day, so my niece won't be able to go to school the very first day. She'll go the next day. So y'all just keep my mom in your thoughts and prayers. It's gonna be easy. From what I understand, cataract surgery these days is pretty easy. It's pretty well.
Yeah, as long as it's not severe cataracts.
Right. But yeah, I understand it's not that difficult. Cataract surgery is not that bad these days.
I took my dad for his cataract. He had the, I don't know if it was his right eye. I think it was right eye. I took him in February, and he had no problem. I just had to drive him and bring him home, and then he has to get the other one done, but he hasn't scheduled the appointment yet. But yeah, it'll be all right. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, my sister's gonna drive her, so drive her mother.
Yeah, it should be all right.
She got to go over here to Greenwood, way over here to Greenwood. It's about 40 miles from here, so.
Just she can't drive for a few days after that either.
Right.
So.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So, anyway, let's see. Terrifying. Oh, yeah, this is the second local news story. This is something interesting. Terrifying new drug trend in northeast Mississippi involves shooting up wasp spray.
Whoa.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
So why?
So what does it do?
Well, I'll tell you in a second. If you thought smoking bath salts was as bad as it could get, you haven't heard of hot shots. Monroe County Sheriff Cecil Cantrell described the recent trend reported in his county. This is a trend that's just started. We suspected there was a new drug or new way of doing drugs, and it's called hot shots. Sheriff Cantrell stopped suddenly, compelled to explain the behavior of someone under the influence of the drug. Let me tell you something. The behavior of a person who's done hot shots is just awful. They're ruined for life. The wasp poison is sprayed on a wire mesh and heated by a battery charger. This crystallizes the spray, which is then melted down and injected intravenously. Sheriff Cantrell explained further. A person will stand at a jail cell door, slobber like a mad dog wanting to fight. Everything is wrong. Nothing is right for 1 minute, then calm down and be just like a normal human being, and then go right back into a rage. As for fighting hot shots, authorities have little more starting point than hoping other drug users will hear the terrible effects and avoid them. Sheesh.
Wow, that is... Man, that's horrible.
That's something else.
Oh, yeah, we do have problems with people, making meth and all that, but this is something. I mean, it seems like now people are finding new ways to get high.
That's because the people are now they can't go to doctors and get prescriptions anymore, so they have to find new ways.
Yeah, that's the first I've ever heard of that.
So it looks like the liberal left is going to be like, well, we got to ban wasp spray now.
Oh no.
I was going to say, this is the first time I've ever heard of this. This is...
It was a few years ago called... You guys remember that?
Crocodile. No.
Yeah. I forgot what it did.
Well, what does that consist of?
I have to look it up now.
I mean, here's the thing. Like, if you are a marijuana smoker, you have to be careful of the type of marijuana you get from these dealers, because I'm just saying, if you're a marijuana smoker, you have to be careful, because they'll lace it with some stuff that you use.
Well, this is
Yeah, you definitely don't want to buy it from a street rat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so crocodile is okay. So this is from the Huffington Post, and I know it's kind of liberal, but I don't think they're going to be lying about this. Crocodile, the flesh-eating street drug that rots the skin from inside out, expands to Illinois, and this is back in 2013. It's called the most horrible drug in the world, and it's come to Illinois. Doctor, some kind of...
That's awful.
A specialist of medical. Yeah.
Why would they do that?
I have no clue. But
I mean, it's the same thing with the bath salt. Well, I mean, really, any of them really, like, I don't know why people do that. I mean, why would you want to? I just don't get it.
Mm-hmm. Well, so the doctor said that he is treating 3 people who took crocodile, a cheap heroin knockoff from the good old people from the USSR, Russia, known to cause an extreme gangrene and abscess that uses muscles and tendons and bones to become exposed. If you want to kill yourself, this is the way to do it.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I could think of probably less painful ways.
Yeah. According to Jolie Patch, he's treating what appears to be the first cases of crocodile reported in the Chicago metro area. As of late last week, first cases, a few people in Utah and Arizona were reported to have been using heroin-like drug, which rots the skin from the inside out. He said in a press release, "It's a horrific way to get sick. The smell of rotten flesh permeates the room. Intensive treatment and skin grafts are required, but often not enough to save the limbs of your alive."
It seems like I did see something about a show about that.
Yeah.
It was Drug Inc. on the National Geographic Channel. You know, a program called Drug Inc. And they had a show about that kind of drug.
Oh.
So, oh my God.
Yeah. 2013, and I'm not sure if crocodile is still out there or not.
Hopefully not.
Oh God. Can't imagine taking a drug that rots you from the inside out.
Mm-hmm.
That has to be painful.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, this is the only thing that we can blame Russia for, because the crocodile has been synthesized in Russia for almost a decade. So that's the only thing we're going to blame Russia for, is bringing this over here.
Yeah.
They said it's a type of heroin. It's a type of heroin.
Just say no.
Yeah, just say no. Don't do drugs, kids. Don't do drugs. Henry, you got one more news?
No, that's all I had. If y'all got something.
All right, I got something. So, you guys heard about the horrific accident at
the fair
crash.
I was going to talk about that. I have it up. I was going to tell. You took it.
I didn't take it. This is the State Fair of West Virginia is focusing on ride safety because of that. After the fatal accident this week at the Ohio State Fair, there are fresh concerns about the rides at the State Fair of West Virginia. However, State Fair CEO Kelly Collins says that they are doing everything they can to make sure accidents does not happen. They said they have a 3-step safety process that begins with ride hoppers, then a third-party inspection, and then final inspection from the West Virginia Division of Labor. Safety and security for our fairgoers is at the top of every single list every single year, and it's part of our job to do what we can to ensure everything is safe and secure on the entire fairgrounds, so that something we're always looking into, trying to improve each and every year. The CEO of State Fair of West Virginia says, Kelly Collins. In West Virginia, ride inspection by law is conducted by a certified private inspectors, and ride operators must show proof of insurance up to $1 million before they can set up their operation. Basically saying that they're inspecting the rides and make sure everything's up to par and make sure there's no accidents waiting to happen. News. That and President Trump's coming to West Virginia next week in Huntington. But Amy, go ahead and share with you.
I don't really have a lot of
Well, we can discuss the Ohio thing since you brought that up if you want to. So go ahead and share that with us.
No, well, okay, well, I don't trust fair rides, and that just confirms my fear of getting on it. I mean, it's when you see the carnies and stuff that are operating them, it makes you wonder how safe this stuff really is.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's just I guess the Ohio State Fair ride malfunctioned, and an 18-year-old died, and then John Kasich ordered the shutdown of the ride during the state fair. So.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So what was the malfunction that happened?
Let me see what it says.
Because I heard about it, but I didn't actually read into it.
Yeah. The Ohio State Fair is open today, but its rides are no, I don't want the video. Okay, so it says the Ohio State Fair is open today, but its rides are closed for inspections after 18-year-old Tyler and 7 more injured Wednesday evening when the Fireball ride he was on broke apart in midair. That's terrible. Sorry, there's this advertisement video playing in my ears, and I couldn't think. I was trying to get it out. Tyler's father, Anthony Gerald, told ABC News he was loved and had a future until the disaster at the Ohio Fair. My question is, who is responsible for not doing their job of inspecting the rides? The 7 people also injured at the State Fair ride in Columbus, Ohio, have been identified by authorities. Tamika Dunlap, Russell Franks, Keziah Lewis, Jacob Andrews, Jennifer Lambert, and Abba Takim Hussein. And a 14-year-old boy was wounded, but his name has not been publicly released. 3 people were listed in critical condition today. So I guess apparently the ride just fell apart. So I don't know if they didn't put all the screws in and the nuts and the bolts, but it just broke apart midair.
Gosh.
Yeah. The next one I want to talk about is from the National Geographic. And they are talking about bringing the mammoth back to life, kind of like, you know, Jurassic Park with the DNA.
Yeah,
they want to do that with the they want to do it with the mammoth. And I think that's not a good idea. I don't think that we need to be messing and manipulating DNA and bringing things that extinct. I mean, they're extinct. You know, they need to play scientist and bring them back.
In other words, play God.
Well, and it's not, they're not just doing it with this. I mean, they're cloning humans and, you know, making designer babies and fake, and I mean, awful. And then the last one that caught my attention was a freak storm has caused injuries in Istanbul. Shocking photos show the damage of a passenger jet, which was pummeled with hailstones as big as golf balls. At least 10 people have been injured as heavy rain, hail, and strong winds knocked down trees and a stone wall and flooded streets in the Turkish city. I guess this never happened, so very freak that this happened, and it caught my attention. It's pretty bad. If you watch the videos have around over it, it's bad.
I imagine it is. Can you imagine?
Yeah. It's pretty
It's
scary.
it's the power of Mother Nature. And if you don't respect it.
They had over in the Pacific, they had the binary hurricanes, and it was kind of funny because it was Hillary and Dawn. Did y'all see that?
No, I didn't see that.
Of course, you know, it reminded me of Donald and Hillary. Like, who came up with those names?
Of course.
But that's all really. Pretty much everything else.
Yeah, I think we did.
All right. Let's see here. I'm just scrolling through, make sure nothing came in through Twitter.
One other thing I want to mention: those who there's a festival. I think it's going to be the 40th year down in Greenville, Mississippi. It's the Delta Blues Festival, and of course, where I live, yes, this is the home of the Delta Blues. This is the Delta Blues, and for a few years now, they've been holding it at the Washington County Convention Center. But for the longest time, they held it at the fairgrounds. They have a certain set place that they would hold it, and it would be an outdoor festival. Well, for a few years they had stopped holding it outdoors. They held it at the Washington County Convention Center. Now they're going to start. But now they've announced this week that they are going to start this year. Start once again holding it outdoors. Of course, that's weather permitting. So, for those who like to, for those who don't like to be cooped up in a building, and enjoying music and things like that, now that they've chosen to hold it outdoors again. So, which I think will be a good thing.
One thing I know that we didn't necessarily talk about was Jared Kushner had his hearing, and he actually, I guess, a lot of times we don't see him speak very often, and he got up and did like a press made a statement, and I saw where a lot of people were making fun of him, his voice, and calling him very feminine, and just making fun of the guy, stating that that's why.
Very feminine. Have they ever heard of Lindsey Graham?
And they're like, well, they they're like, well, what is, Ivanka see in this guy? And it's just, and I mean, I even saw conservative people, talk about him, and I just thought it was kind of rude. I mean,
Yeah,
can't
everybody
help
has
the
a
way,
different voice.
I mean, you can't help the way you sounded. Just because he has maybe a softer voice doesn't make him feminine. I just thought it was kind of rude and not necessary, but whatever. We talk about people, so I just didn't think it was very nice.
It happens. Sometimes men have, some men sound homosexual. Some straight men. I'm talking about straight men. Some straight men sound homosexual, and they do.
Yeah, they sound a feminine voice.
And it's like, and I'm sure that's probably, he's probably self that word.
Yeah.
I'm looking for a word I can't think. Yeah, self-conscious about it. Yeah, and now people are talking about the poor guy. Oh well, whatever. I just felt bad for him.
Yeah.
But that was it. That's all I have.
Oh, okay. I think that's pretty much it that happened this week. I mean, a lot of stuff happened this week, and hopefully we did a good job covering it all. So next week is going to be another Not Mainstream for the first week of August, August 4th, 2017. And then on that Friday night, we're going to be on a different. I hear a UFO coming in.
Yeah, I hear it too.
I'm burning a DVD.
Oh, okay. Okay, so next week is the first week of August, and that's going to be our first show of August, August 4th. It's going to be at 8 o'clock. The reason why we did it at 7 was because of all the stuff we had to get to, and I didn't know if we was going to get to it all in time or not, but I think we did pretty good.
Yeah.
Be good getting to it all. And then on the 5th, me and Henry is going to be interviewed by Tracy Arnold on Sasquatch Outlaw about Bigfoot. I'm excited. I'm going to be completely prepared. I got Lucille on my side, so she can help me out.
I have to. Is it going to be live?
It's going to be live, yeah, like this.
Who is this lady?
Tracy Arnold, this guy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Tracy's a good guy.
Yeah.
When are y'all doing the theater again?
Oh, August 12th.
August 12th. August 12th is Sasquatch Theater. We're going to be watching
and ruining
the Legend of Boggy Creek. And then on the 26th, we're going to have a Bigfoot conference with Tracy Arnold, and he's going to have some very special guests. It is downpouring to rain, so we might have some power outage. So I'm going to go ahead and end this. So tune in next week for another Not Mainstream. Good night, everybody. God bless America, and God bless President Donald J. Trump.